Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the A2B podcast, your number one source for military entrepreneurship and entertainment, guys. We just got done recording a podcast that we're talking about the very existence of some jobs in the military due to AI. Go to any of these links that you guys see up here because that's going to take you to the video where we're talking about the likelihood of some jobs be taken by AI. Like always, I am joined by my co-host, Barry Bull. See, this is not a knife hand, though. It's not a knife hand. It's not, I don't have a lady like this. But Barry, how you doing, man?
Good. I know you mentioned AI is going to eliminate recruiting because it's not hard anyways.
If there's a part from recruiting that
is that
it
what
can
you
eliminate,
said? But did you say that?
I did not say that.
Guys, I want us to just be reminded that Albert sometimes he's not the most honest person, and I apologize. I do want to say I'm sorry.
Listen, if there's a part in recruiting that can be taken away, it could be MEPS. Jesus Christ!
Wow,
please.
Guys,
MEPS,
that's where you put the best recruiters. You said,
you
said you did 3 years at MEPS.
The crazy part is the crazy part is that now everyone is going to try to come for my job. It's just like, well, your job can be taken. We look at this from a technical perspective.
Come on, guys.
Any job can be taken place by AI unless it's some type of like blue collar type work.
Now, what years were you on recruiting again?
2016, 2019.
Do they still make the recruits do the duck walk?
Yes.
Why do they do that? Yes. Why do they do? Do you know? Like, what is that?
Do
you guys know what the duck walk? Can you tell everybody what the duck walk is? You're not actually.
We can record. As a matter of fact, we can record ourselves doing a duck walk after this, and we can post it on our socials. See, I think I can't do the duck walk, and my knees are shot. Well, we can try.
But you're up to it? But you're saying with clothes on.
No, the same way as. Let me see what underwear I got. Oh, no, I can't do it. I got the G-string on.
Wow.
I got the popsicle underwear on.
Wow, hey, guys.
No, my wife.
Albert's got the banana hammock undies on.
No. My wife, for Father's Day, she got me 2 underwear. And then one of them was a popsicle, with the popsicle thing. And then the other one was Sugar Daddy.
Valerie.
So she bought him 3 sizes too small. I think she did it on purpose.
Hello.
But yeah, today, Barry, because we always get distracted, guys. This is live.
The life of a recruiter.
So Barry's been taking shots. He's been taking a lot of shit, but that's okay because I know I got you guys' support. Okay, so I ain't even gotta say nothing because I know that you guys got my back on socials.
Mentira.
So we're talking about the video.
Okay.
That we did, or that I did.
Beautiful
about the
video
petition of the Marine Corps becoming part of the Air Force.
Yeah.
Do you feel that the Air Force is a better branch than the Navy?
Hands down.
Why?
I mean, they're taller, they're more handsome, they're more physically fit, they're smarter.
I don't know about physically fit.
They have better quality of life.
Better quality of life. I can agree with that. Okay. I think they manage their personnel better. Now, why is the Marine Corps a department of the Navy? Do you know?
I don't.
I think it's because it goes all the way back to 1775. But believe it or not,
is that when my Marine Corps came alive?
Yes, but believe it or not, what a lot of people don't know is that before in 1775, the Marine Corps was the Continental Marines.
That's right.
It wasn't the United States Marine Corps. It became, the United States Marine Corps in 1798. Fact check me. So, and that's when it actually became a department of the Navy because back then it was necessary for, for Marines or soldiers of the sea. That's why we evolved to Marines. To be attached to naval vessels. Because
what did we do when we were on the naval vessels? We guarded the ships.
We
were the sharpshooters.
We also did amphibious landings.
Correct.
We did amphibious landings in Haiti that I can remember, back
we
in
protected
back in the day.
the Navy. They couldn't protect themselves. They
Correct.
couldn't fight their way out of a wet paper bag.
Correct. So that's like, and
Okay.
that's why I feel back then it made sense.
They still
right?
can't.
We're looking at it from the historical perspective, because a lot of people came at me in that video. It's like, well, it goes against our naval traditions, but that's the thing. I'm talking about evolution. You know, like the Marine Corps, the world right now.
Who
with the
did
amount of
somebody actually start that petition though?
I did. That's why. Listen, I started that petition as a joke. Honestly, like a lot of people.
What would you ever do if that got 500,000 signatures?
I don't know. It got like 100 and something already. I don't think it's gonna get to the 500,000. But the only thing that the real reason why I started that petition was because I wanted to see if it caught some attention, in order for us to get some type of response, right? But you know, I got comments, and right now we have I think it's like over 1,600 votes on social media. Go to Barry's Instagram, or go to my Instagram, and you'll be able to see it. We have over 1,600 signatures, and the Navy is winning by 70% right now. So that means that, you know, it's like, and the question was, should the Marine Corps be part of the Navy or be part of the Air Force? 70% of the people out of 1,600
Is it
votes.
unprofessional for me to say I don't care?
What do you mean?
I don't care.
You don't care what?
I don't care if it's part of the Air Force or the Navy. Is that unprofessional?
No, it's not. That's your opinion. You're entitled
I just
to your
feel
opinion.
that, you know, especially in today's day and age, like you said, evolution, evolving, AI, drones, technology.
Well, let's look at the historical facts. Before we touch on today, let's look at the historical facts. Because I feel that all the way up to 1942, you know, when we were doing
Columbus sailed the ocean blue. No, that was the wrong year.
No, in 1942, that's when the World War II started. That's when the United States became part of World War II. And we were doing the island hopping campaigns. Up until that point, it made sense to me. We were doing dogfights, but we weren't really doing no big, you know, massive transportations of personnel in the air. Okay. Back until 1942, I still think that the Marine Corps being part of the Navy is relevant. But look at Vietnam. What happened in Vietnam? We weren't doing no, you know, amphibious assaults in Vietnam. We were sending Marines there, and they were doing jungle operations.
That was also one of the first, you know, times where they were doing urban warfare.
Urban warfare,
House
correct.
to house. You're in
CQB.
You're in the streets of a, you know, populated city. There's
Correct.
buildings, there's houses.
I think that was the first change that really occurred. And again, guys, like we're just having a conversation. Feel free to jump in the comments. We promise that we will read the comments, so that way, you know, we value your opinion. I know that there's people out there probably that know way more than this about us. I'm just looking at the historical facts right now, and I'm just trying to walk it through, so that way we can try to pinpoint when is it that we can start this conversation. Like, well, man, it was in this point that the Marine Corps really stopped going away from their naval traditions, because what really came after Vietnam?
Desert Storm, the Cold
The
War.
big one, right? But there were some frictions that were happening. Marines were getting deployed in augments. They weren't really getting deployed in to like different places.
Well, you had the Cold War.
We had the Cold War.
You had Desert Storm. You had Somalia.
Now, how old were you when Desert Shield and Desert Storm was happening?
11.
Okay, so you were not, you know, are you familiar with what was going on during that time? Because obviously you joined in the 1990s.
I did.
Okay, and that happened in 1990 and 1991.
Correct.
Okay, so back then, whenever you were going, like, do you remember your leaders? Because probably your gunnies and stuff were the ones that fought in Desert Storm and Desert Shield, right?
Absolutely, yeah. They were all Desert Storm veterans.
Okay, so, and were they going on board ships to Iraq, Afghanistan?
No. Some of them did.
How they were
But
getting transported?
They were flying.
They were flying. Okay, and when they were flying, who owned the vehicles?
The aircraft. There's
The
Air
aircraft.
Force.
Who?
Air Force.
The Air Force. Because now, at least from my experiences here in California, whenever we go on a SP MACTAF, not a MEU, because again, a lot of people confuse SP
When
MACTAF
I went
with
to
MEUs.
Afghanistan and when I was in 3-6, we took commercial air to, I don't remember, somewhere in Europe, Germany or something. And then from there, we took like, a C5 to like some weird.
The Marine Corps doesn't even own C5s.
Right.
Who owns C5s? Does the Navy own C5s?
Air Force.
No, the Air Force, right? So, but that's what I'm so. Again, guys, I'm just throwing the facts out there. If you want to come at me in the comments still, I'm just having a conversation about this, and I'm walking at the historical facts.
Yeah, but I think you come at it from more of a totalitarian, absolute perspective, where it's like I said, either or. And what I see the military going toward is jointness. Okay. So that's why I kind of say, like, I don't care if the Marine Corps technically fell under like the Department of the or whatever. I don't know how the Air Force works, but whatever, right? Let's say it was, But when a lot of these guys go to CENTCOM, AFRICOM, they're working. They're in the J3. They're not in the S3, right? You're working on a joint staff with people from all the other branches. And you got to know how the other branches work. And anytime we've had a conflict in this country, that has been a big piece of what's held us back. Because we don't all speak the same language.
We don't.
Right? And that's important. Those Air Force folks are bringing a different skill set and speaking a different language. And if you don't understand what each other is saying, you're going to be slowed down on the battlefield. And we know that the most important thing on the battlefield is momentum. It's hard to it's hard to generate, easier to maintain, but if you lose that momentum, people die.
Yeah, but I agree with you, but I'm talking about whenever it comes to the attachedness that the Marine Corps has to the Navy.
Yeah.
Because if we look at this, right, like they're both in the Department of the Navy, but you got the United States Navy and then you got the United States Marine Corps. They both have their own. One has the commandant, and then the other one has what is it? What is that? It's called? It's not the Secretary of the Navy, because the Secretary of the Navy is under the Department of the Navy. What's the Navy guys called? Do you know?
What do you mean, that runs the Navy?
Yeah, can you?
The CNO?
Is that what it's called?
Chief of Naval Operations?
Chief of Naval Operations.
He's the equivalent to our commandant.
To a commandant, right? Okay,
Correct.
okay. So they both have their own things. Then why do we need to fall under the department like that? Like that's what my thing. Because
that's what Master Sergeant Stanek was saying. Pogue Actual. You have Department of the Navy is the parent. The children is the Navy and the Marine Corps. So Navy and the Marine Corps is equal. Marine Corps is not under the Navy. Marine Corps and the Navy are both under Department of the Navy.
My question is why though? Because and again, I've been going at it.
Know.
I've been going at it from I get it. Why it has historically been like that?
That I don't know.
Yeah, historically, why it's been like that. Now, if we go up
if
there,
I was going to take a wild guess at why it hasn't changed,
because we're going through a transitional period.
Well, a ship turns 10 degrees at a time, right? It's slow. Okay, there's a lot of things written in, a lot of policy, a lot of orders, a lot of just procedural type stuff. And if you try to take something as big as the Marine Corps, this huge entity, and move it over here, there would be some serious, issues.
Yeah, but my thing is, we look at it from how operations are being conducted right now.
No.
At least in my experience, in my short time of 14 years, because we're talking about the change that we're talking about implementing is not like a year-over-year change. Right. It's going to be decades of change. So I get why historically we've been a part of the Navy, but why do we need to continue to be part of the Navy? Because I get that some people are going to say, well, the Marine Corps should be its own entity now. I don't think that Congress will ever allow that. I think that they will disband the Marine Corps before they allow it to be its own entity. Now, if we look at it, because a lot of people that came at me in the comments, well, I guess you never heard of a MEU, a Marine Expeditionary Unit, right? But the same way that we have MUs, we have SP MACTAFs, which SP MACTAFs are stationary.
I get what you're saying. Just because we do a MU doesn't mean we need to be a Department of the Navy.
Correct. We can have people attached to a MU.
We can still do the MU.
Exactly. But we have SP MACTAF. We have fast companies.
So then my question is, again, what's the benefit if it's in name only?
What's the benefit of what?
What's the benefit if it's in name only? In other words, it's just a title change, a branding change. What's, I don't know.
Yeah.
If that maybe
I guess funding. I guess
Could
more.
be.
I guess more. Because think about it, right? The Secretary of the Navy has 2 children, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
How do we know who's the preferred children? Well, we've kind of seen who the preferred children is. Who gets the more money?
Well, they're larger. I'd be
larger.
I'd be interested to see if how that breakdown is, per capita.
Dude, and I'm telling you, like we need
The
to.
money.
We either one. I agree with being autonomous. I just don't. I really feel that it will be more of a change to a different department than for us to be autonomous. How do you feel about that?
Like I said, to me, it's whatever,
Really?
Yeah. To me, we just need to make the,
I to me it's not whatever. I'm gonna tell you this, man, because of the support that you can receive on a different branch. And this is what leads me to my next topic, which is the reason why I think that I thought that we will be better served in the Air Force. It was because of one, funding. Second, because of personnel management. Third, because of quality of life.
I don't think that would happen.
All the issues that the Marines really complain about, and the commandant, not the commandant and the sergeant major, have to currently fight with because
I don't think that would happen. I'll tell you why.
But what I really want to know though is when Congress gives funding, they give funding. They don't give funding to the Marine Corps directly. They give funding to the Department of the Navy. And then the Department of the Navy, the Secretary of the Navy has to trickle that money down to both the Navy and the Marine Corps. Am I correct?
I don't know.
Can you pull that up, Jose? Pull it up. Pull it up to see if we can get an answer real quick on when Congress gives money to. Do they give money to each individual branch, or do they give money to the Department of the Navy, and then the Department of the Navy distributes that money?
I bet it's to each individual branch, but even still, I don't think it would matter. I'll tell you why. You got one pie. You got one pie. They look at it as the defense budget, and they break that up however they want. Break it up however you want, but this is what you're getting. Here's the pie. Slice it up however you want. That pie ain't changing. We ain't making it bigger. We ain't making it smaller.
But you know what happened in the Marine Corps, though? I'm going to tell you what happened in the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps always pounding its chest that we can do it better and we can do it with less money. They always sat down at the big boys table. They would go to the Army, how much is it going to cost you? It's going to cost such. The Marine Corps, in order for them to stay relevant, they were like, okay, well, we can do it with less people and we can do it with less money. And then they've been shooting themselves in the foot because now the Marine Corps' budget is like this big. Now we can't even get barracks freaking fixed. The easy things for quality of life, that's what happens. Because people that wanted to pound themselves in the chest and be like, oh, well, now we can't, we can do it better and we can do it. And that's why you have Marines mowing their lawn. That's why you have Marines doing all this stupid stuff like their own work requests and all those things. Because every single year, the budget for the Marine Corps, and then now, it's very hard to justify, we need an increase in order for us to do this. Because who wants to give more money when it's been proven that we can do it with less money? Dude, these are all high macro questions that need to get answered.
Well, I mean,
for you to stay relevant.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to touch on, the relevancy issue. I mean, when we look back at yesteryear, it's like working on my 1964 Impala, I can do that. I'm not going to attempt to work on my new car. Right? I'm not going to try to fix the center display. Are you?
No, hell no.
No, right? But if it was a 1985 whatever Chevy, right? That's a different story.
Yeah.
You'd be lucky if you have air conditioning in the damn thing.
Yeah.
And power windows, right? That was a luxury back then. Times change. Times change. So yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know, man. This is a subject that here's the thing, and here's who I hope that watches this message for the podcast that we're trying. I hope that the Lance Corporals, PFCs, Corporals, and Sergeants get this. And if you're watching this and you've been watching this podcast now for a while, I suggest that you bring this up on an actual hip pocket class. Watch the entire podcast and come up with some prompt questions to ask your junior Marines. Because I promise you that the problems and the issues that we're talking about today in this specific podcast are going to be the issues that the Lance Corporals of today in 2024 are going to be solving as Master Gunnery Sergeants. So the more and the sooner that you start thinking about these things and being proactive and developing those critical thinking skills in order for you to develop into a mature leader that is solving tomorrow's problem, I can guarantee you that the military will be better off. And that's why I want to talk about this stuff. I want to create prompts and I want to create conversations that are relevant into the future of the institution and the military.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, guys. So let us know how you guys feel about that, because obviously we don't have. Do you get the answer, Jose?
So basically, they send it to the Department of the Navy, and then they
see. So they send it to the Department of the Navy.
So you think we're getting shortchanged?
We've been getting shortchanged, but it's not because of Congress.
Are we going to have harder Marines if we give them an easy life?
It's not about that. Work harder. Like, I don't understand why what people don't understand. We are in 2024.
It's a valid question. I'm going to tell you why. When we were in Afghanistan, you know what they said? You got to make your Marines live Spartan. And what that meant was, don't give them anything. Make their conditions as hard as you can make them. If you're a grunt, tell me, drop a comment. Let me know if you've ever heard that. I'm not telling you I agree with it.
That's not going to work, Barry.
I'm not telling you I agree with it. I'm not telling you it's one size fits all, but it's a valid question. I feel are our Marines going to be more hardcore with an easier life?
I don't think so.
And does it matter?
I'm gonna tell you.
Does
why.
it even matter if we're going into the technology age?
Dude, like if you look at this. Dude, kids that were Spartans or if you want to compare them with that, they got taken from children and developed under those hard conditions.
That is true.
Okay? What we're talking about is that's why Marines come back with PTSD. That's why we have such a high suicide rate, because we put them under this extreme living conditions for 7 or 8 months and then put them under good conditions again and then expect them to take it to go back to natural life. No, we need to make conditions constant.
Yeah.
Constant. Because if
a lot of leaders are going to disagree with you.
But they can disagree. That's fine.
That's what we're doing this for.
Mira. You see this? I'm pointing at the guest chair. Go to the link in my bio and schedule. You can put in the comments in there when you say what topic do you want to talk about, the topic of the relevancy of the Marine Corps,
and I'm just telling you what I've actually heard before.
Yeah, of course.
I've heard people say this.
No, I get that. It makes sense.
They want those young warriors to be as mad as they can get them.
That's fine, and I agree to some extent. Mm-hmm. But what fucking difference does it make if they get cold water or if they get hot water? What difference does it make if they're sleeping on a cot or if they're sleeping on a rack? Like, those are all things that like I don't care, man. Like those are things that it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter, and because at the end of the day, shots are going to continue to go downrange, in my opinion. And with the technology that we have nowadays, it's much easier for you to put rounds downrange that has ever been in the history of the world.
True.
So why do we need to do that? Like you were saying in the previous podcast, those drones that we have, the small drones that we have, the surveillance equipment that we have now, the alerts, I don't know if I'm utilizing that word correctly, but the alert system that we have whenever there's an attack going on, the aircraft that we have now. Dude, there's so much things that we do not need to put Marine, in my opinion. And if we are going to put Marines and we're going to make that the SOP, I also agree with that. But make that the constant. Make that the constant thing. Because if you drastically change the conditions of a Marine, that's when you're going to have the other issues, which is going to be the PTSD. It's going to be like the other things are going to be the secondary things of you putting Marines through that.
Yeah.
That's just the way that I feel.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So, guys, let us know in the comments how you guys feel about this. We want to make sure that we're having relevant conversations into what's currently going on, guys. And what you guys need to realize is the military in general is going through a transitional phase in the history of the world. Okay, technology has never been more intelligent than what it is now, and we need to continue to adapt to that, and we need to find a way for us to bring in that information from the end user to the people that are making and calling the shots as fast and efficiently as possible. Okay, so leave a comment, share this video, watch this video at your shop doing one of your hip pocket classes, and let us know what you guys think. Barry, where can people reach out to you at?
You guys know where to find me at Instagram at Bull5277, TikTok at Bull52772, YouTube, the A to B podcast. Like, subscribe, comment, hit that little bell, turn on your notifications. That way you can get the alert anytime we post hot, new, fresh content for you to spark good conversation. We're not here to tear nobody down. We're here to get the ideas and the juices flowing, okay? Instagram and TikTok, click that link in my bio, schedule a call. The call is free, and the change is going to last you a lifetime.
Guys, like always, you guys know where to find me, Ramos_Capital, and all of my social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, YouTube, the A2B podcast. The best way that you guys can help us out right now is by subscribing, liking, and commenting. I've been hearing that our content has been doing rounds in some of the drill instructor Facebook groups.
What?
We are being teared apart. Oh, my God. Can you believe that?
That's so aggressive.
Guys, make sure that you guys like, comment, and share, and I'll see you guys in the next one.